Right, good morning folks, how are we doing? JBL Motovlogs here and welcome back to a very cold morning in Bromley, London, where today we're with Pete down at Supershield Auto and we're giving the 790 some much love today. Very long day. So basically today's video is going to take the entire process from start to finish on how Pete goes through valeting, detailing and then coating these bikes. So yeah, you're going to see some nice slow-mo shots, a lot of detail, and you might even see me get my hands dirty as well. So this is Pete, and we've seen a lot of both of us today, so it'll be a long video. Grab a cup of coffee folks, because it's going to be a detailed one. Right, so step one, what we're doing first?
Right, first thing we've got to do is just jet wash it down.
Yep.
And I know some people say, oh, I should use a jet wash, but yeah, you shouldn't use a powered jet wash that's going to strip stuff off the bike. Or,
you know about your big industrial
we've got a really good jet wash, but you can adjust the power on it.
Right.
And, we don't use the lances, we use a fine sort of spray.
Right.
So it comes out like a blade of water, basically. The idea is start at the top, just rinse the dirt downwards, and see what you can get off. A lot of the modern bikes still have the connectors are all watertight. You know, they've got the seals on them and stuff, so you do have to be careful, but you know, common sense, don't spray it directly into the electrics. Start at the top, angle it down and just try and wash it down the bike.
It didn't look too bad before we set off, but with the motorway trip down here yesterday, collector box and spring, just your usual suspects, you know, we're suffering a little bit all up the back of the exhaust. But
so we've got a nice Kranzel washer. We've taken the lances off and we've got an angled end on it, so it's not full power. It's just enough to put a nice blade of water and rinse the bike down. That's all you need. You get the jet wash with your lance on the end and you get right in here and start doing damage. But you can see it creates a fine spray, especially around here if you've got the hoses and stuff.
It's like the switch gear as well, isn't it? You've got...
Yeah, and we're going to blow dry that out later. So,
right.
You know, yes, we're using a jet wash, but we're also going to dry it afterwards.
So then, pardon the way I look today, it's a bloody cold day, and most of the stuff that I brought to keep myself warm got a little bit wet yesterday on the way down. Here we've got Supershield's own kind of cleaning stuff. Now Pete uses all his own cleaning stuff on the bikes, and like I say, it's a very long process. We've got a little bit of a problem at first because I've used some ceramic wax on the bike, and it's turns out it's stuck on quite well. So we're looking at some sort of degreaser to get this wax off here. But yeah, Pete, do you mind just telling a little bit about the coating we put on at the end? Or what's the benefits of it for someone that's wanting the bike clean?
It's going to save you a hell of a lot of time cleaning the bike.
Yeah.
You haven't got to keep going through the whole bike, fine cleaning everything every time you ride it. You know, bulk of the time you jet wash it down. Yeah. Especially in the winter, you come home, if you commute on it, come home, it's covered in salt, and just hose it all down. And get the worst of it off, put it away.
Can you still use cleaning agents?
Yeah, so I'll go through all the cleaning agents with you.
Right.
We'll go through the process, but stuff like the snow foam doesn't really clean your bike.
Right,
so
okay. Is it just
we'll show you what it does later.
Right, there you go, secrets of the trader.
You know, like a second-hand bike, we give a 7-year guarantee on the ceramic.
Wow.
And we coat the whole bike, so you know, it's going to keep it in good condition. You're going to be able to clean it really easily. Yep. A couple of hours and it'll be back in showroom. How, you know, we'll leave it in a certain condition and then we'll put the coating on. Right. It should always go back to that condition, really.
You make it that condition, then it locks it in.
Basically.
And then that's your okay.
That's why we spend so long prepping the bike, because when we put the coating on, whatever's underneath it, that's it. Right. So that it's be all and end all. So you got to make it look bob on. Yeah, and we want it to look good and make sure it's going to stay like that. So this is pre-wash. We just use a garden pump sprayer to protect my hands from having to squirt a trigger bottle every time. We mix at 20 to 1. So this is our pre-wash. Yep. Got 4 3/4 litres of water, and all we're going to do is top it up to the 5 litre mark. Right. With some pre-wash, and that is enough. So that's enough. We've got 5 litres in there. You do a few bikes from that, and it doesn't go off, so you can just leave it mixed. There's no issue with that.
So Pete set up here, this is the entire process, so we'll speak a little bit more at the end once the bike's coated about the procedures afterwards, because you can't just do any old Tom, Dick and Harry tricks in it.
We'll be going up to the tar off stage,
right?
And then these two, if we're doing a valet or a normal wash, so if you've had your bike done already,
yep,
then we'd use the wash wax and bead maker at the end,
right?
But we don't want anything on the bike before we ceramic it, so we're not going to use those.
All right. So is that kind of like, what's the bead maker then? Is your wax?
So you can use the wash wax. The wash wax still has a cleaning agent, so you just like a normal bucket wash.
Right.
It leaves a sort of ceramic Canuba wax mix on the surface, but the bead maker is a sealant. If you want to top up the coating and make it bead really even more than it normally does.
A bit like you do with the Gore-Tex, your Nick wax, you re-hydrophobe in it.
Yep. All it's going to do, it's a bit like your hybrid ceramic wax or whatever else you'd get from the shop, where it's actually a sealant, paint sealant. Right. So whether your car or bike is ceramics or not, if you finish, you dried your bike, you stick that over the top of it and you get a month of protection.
Right. It's still wet? Yeah.
Although it's not, it's still wet because it's got a wetting agent. So it lasts.
I don't know if you'll be able to see that on camera, so it looks dry, guys, but as you give it a bit of a... Yeah, I see what you mean there. You'll be able to see that one on camera.
The dirt coming up a bit?
Yeah, you can see it there.
So that's what we want to do. We don't want to touch the bike. Right. We don't want to touch the bike. The pre-wash is doing it for us. It's lifting the dirt off the surface. Right. It's doing its job. It's got a wetting agent, so although it looks dry, it's still wet. Yeah. And what we're going to do is just jet wash it off. Right. We'll take the dirt with it. Right. Yeah. All in there. Especially tank, that was, God, yeah, definitely. And you probably, now if you rub it, you're not going to get the dirt. Yeah. So there's no dirt coming off it. You've got the dirt off the bike. Yep. The sort of surface dirt, the stuff that's going to cause damage. Yep. You can see it's already looking a lot cleaner. Got that off the bike. Now we can decon the bike. Right. Put the iron and fallout cleaner on it, and it's going to get to the bit that it actually needs to get to, rather than sitting on the surface dirt. But again, it's not so strong; it's going to cause a lot of damage. Yeah. Okay. Again, keep the bike wet, keep the stuff wet, and what we're going to do is put it on, wait for a bit, and as soon as it starts to turn purple, we're going to snow foam over the top. Right. It doesn't get a chance to dry. Right. We're not going to start rubbing it around the paintwork because you're dissolving iron on the paintwork. So you don't want to rub it on the paintwork. Stuff like your engine and stuff, you can put the brushes in and your wheels. Yeah, but it's just. But yeah, you were saying with yours, there's a lot of research has gone into that one, hasn't it? Like say, I'm buying the cheaper ones, it starts stripping parts. Yeah, you know, there's all different products out there. Yeah. You can get really thin, cheap, strong iron removers, which will probably do a lot of damage to the bike, especially if it dries. Well, like I say, I had my experience with mine stripping galvanised parts. It's worth buying something of good quality if you're going to use it. Yep. Because you want it to do the job, but you don't want it to do any damage. If it, you want a happy medium, don't you? Yeah. So it needs to be strong. It needs to do the job, but it also needs to be safe. So the more you pay, the better ingredients you're going to get. I was saying quickly, guys, just real quick. Look at the calipers are the main thing that's come up on these ones. I thought the paint on them had all chipped and gone, but it literally was just deeply ingrained dirt. I mean, the front ones. A lot of this, the fallout, because it's iron remover, it will also remove some of the rust. Right. So it's really good if you can spot clean with this later as well, a little brush. All right, okay. The bolt heads and try and clean them up, and it will remove the rust. So. And this goes everywhere, paintwork. Yeah, you can put this on everything. There's not an issue with that. Oh, it smells a bit funky, iron remover, doesn't it? It will smell. If nobody's ever smelt it, it's very potent. So again, ours is strong. It does the job, but it's not going to do any damage to your cables or stuff like that. The only thing I would be wary of in the heat, if it's drying, anodised parts. So if you've got anodised parts, don't let them dry. Right. That's the main thing. Okay. We shouldn't have a problem today. These even safe on brake components, brake pads, discs. Right, okay. Yeah, put it on everything. It's not an issue. Oh, the smell! I wish people could smell that. It's strong. So with this, you should start. How long is it taking to really draw it out? What's its wait time? It honestly depends. It depends on the weather, a lot of conditions, but generally about 5 minutes. Yeah, well, you can already see on brake discs, can't you? Between 5 to 10 minutes, it should be taking most of it, depending on how ingrained it is.
You're obviously going to get stuff here first because it's obviously where your brake pads and brake discs or your iron filings.
It's difficult because you don't always see it on the rest of the bike. But when you rinse it off, you will really see the difference between the two, especially on the metal works. Any metal is going to come up.
And especially on the discs, how much really is coming off. It's really drawing them filings out. They say Pete was just saying to agitating up paintwork because you don't want to get them swirls in all the engine bay. Right, how long would you say that's been sat on there now, Pete? I'd say 5-10 minutes. Yeah, 5
between 5 and 10. So
and this is what we're saying about the wetting agent.
Wet.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the wetting agents on some of them, by now they'd be dry, long gone, and what you'd end up having is you'd start eating into your anodizing. But if you ever look on the swing arm, you can see there. Look, Pete, it's drawing it all out. You can actually see. You'll be able to see it on camera, but you can see the iron filing where it's drawing it from. You
wouldn't see that normally unless you put the chemical on it.
Yeah.
It might look like the bike's clean, but it's not.
Yeah. So sometimes all these particles and stuff you see on your bike are always grit. The brake dust from other vehicles and everyone's favourite part.
Yeah. and look, this isn't to clean the bike.
Yep.
Snow foam doesn't clean your bike. It's not a miracle, wonder cure. We've put this stuff on. It's lifting the dirt off. You can see it's taking the iron. It's bringing it to the surface. It's dissolving it. What I don't want to do now is have to scrub that, especially over painted surfaces.
Yeah.
Just don't touch them. The snow foam will lift all that off and chuck it on the floor for you.
Again, snow foam's just for ease of cleaning then. Yeah. It's just a nice way of rinsing the bike.
Yeah, it's a nice way of getting the dirt off the bike without having to actually scrub the paintwork and cause more swirl marks.
Right. You
don't want to just rinse it because the water's going to run into places where you not necessarily want it to go, whereas the snow foam's going to grab the dirt, hold on to it, and it will drop it on the floor.
So a lot of people use snow foam as a pre-clean, don't they?
You can.
I've done it in the past,
and it works to an extent. Yeah. But if the dirt's loose before you use the snow foam, it was a lot. Otherwise, you're just wasting your snow foam.
So you have to use it once it's been rinsed.
Really, ideally, you want to jet wash the bike down, put a pre-wash on like we did earlier, till the dirt's in, and then snow foam it. So once your bike's ceramic, that's your go-to.
There you go.
Pre-wash, snow foam, rinse, bucket wash, done.
Now this is where the proper detailing comes in. This is stuff people, 99% of people miss when cleaning the bikes.
So I just want to make sure we've got all this out. This stuff, we need to get this out. This is sort of a corrosive mixture that's going to drip when the bike gets wet. This is going to drip onto your wheel, and that's what's going to cause the pitting in your wheel. If you wash your bike when you put it away, then make sure that you just don't leave a pool of water there, because that's what's going to cause the corrosion.
And what do you get when you get water and iron? Rust.
So I'm not going to run it through here yet, so we'll finish it in a minute. I just want to get this.
Just the book, So that's what you end up getting once the bike's been ridden in the wet.
Yeah, so you ride it in the wet, it will drip onto your, especially on the side stand, because it will drip into this little channel here, and it will just sit there, and it'll just eat into your wheel.
So all this is the fallout remover, and what's that? Just a bit of scourer.
Yeah, it's a bit of scourer pad on there.
So this is just trying to get that surface level of rust off before you really have to detail it. If it's still there.
Now we can rinse. We can still rinse the bike at the moment because it's wet.
Right. It's like looking at this side for comparison. These are what Pete's currently going at. So you got the caliper bolts, and these are gone.
Especially on the exhaust and collector boxes and around the front of the bike. Again, we let the bike not dry, but dry off a little bit, so it's not so sopping wet.
Yep.
And then put this on. When it hits water, it activates, goes white.
Right.
And that's basically then.
So is that that's the tar?
This is just tar remover in a bottle, and we literally you can just spray it onto the surfaces. The only thing you can't put this on is sort of plastics, so screens and. So
you've got to be really careful with this stuff. And is this diluted or is this concentrated?
This is concentrated.
So the areas we're going through here will show a little bit of before. So here on the collector box, you've got your road tar. Now most people, including myself, they just use WD-40 with a scouring brush for that, don't they? But then again, does that strip any sort of protective coating the metal has on it, or anything, or is it just?
You can use.
Is it just a messy way of doing it?
WD-40, as we said, it will get the tar off eventually, but you can see that now it's already running.
God, yeah, it's wow.
So rather than having to scrub at stuff, and you're putting scratches and marks, and if there is any coating, you're just taking it off. This will just strip the tar out.
So the areas we're going through here is collectible. Is it all up the back of the pipe as well?
I haven't done the pipe yet. No.
Yeah. So is this safe to use on all metals?
Yeah, everything. All metals. Yep. Even your paintwork, you can spray it on your whole car. Just don't put it on plastics like your screens and stuff, because it will melt.
Your acrylics
can melt the plastic. So.
Especially your cheaper.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, definitely. Sort of cheap. If you buy the sort of Chinese light covers and stuff like that, they'll melt.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is as well, people that clean the bike often, you realise that you can clean your bike with an inch of its life, and tar is the last thing to come off.
It just won't come off. Yeah.
It is.
It's stuck on good.
So I mean, straight away, this is before you've even done any sort of physical agitation. It's running, isn't it?
A lot of the time, what you'll find, you can actually spray, if it's not too bad, you can spray the tar remover on, just leave it for a little bit. Again, it's sort of oily based. It's
right.
Based, so it's not going to dry immediately or anything.
Yeah.
As long as the engine's not hot or the exhaust is not hot. And actually, when you put the jet wash on, a lot of that will just come off.
Right. Oh, just with the power of
it will start to run. You can see it's like running down.
Yeah.
It'll probably be running down the exhaust by now. Yeah. So you can see the tar running down the exhaust.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
And you can use a nice soft detail brush, and once it's on there, been on there a bit, you can just literally give it a little gentle brush just to loosen some of the surface tar.
So again, this isn't just scrubbing it, this is just agitating it.
Just a little agitation with a soft brush. It's not going to do any damage.
Yeah.
It will take off a lot of the tar will just come off straight away. The thicker stuff you'll probably get left with. But we'll do that later. We can spot clean later. Just getting the bulk of it off.
So we're going to get like down here. So
yep.
I'm going to try and spray that up a bit. Yeah.
And that's obviously where the chain's just gone round. It's built up that much. It's just starting.
So you got your front sprocket, yeah. So all the chain loops coming in here is flinging off in here,
and it's just
eventually it drips out. Okay, so every now and again take that off, give it a good clean out.
Yep.
And put it back on again, and you'll be fine.
So we're pretty much down with the decontamination stage. These two here, the wash and wax and the bead maker, we're not going to use them today, just for the simple fact that I think what Pete was saying, you don't want any waxes, you want a fully bare surface for the coating, so we'll leave them out. But then again, we just laid these here because these are the 7 products that Supershield sell. But yeah, we're still on with the just rubbing off the tar off stage now, and the bike's come up quite well. It's just gone over it again with a pre-wash, you were saying, just to get rid of that last remnants of tar.
Yeah, because we're using tar off, it's a bit oily, so we need to just neutralise that and get it off. So again, a quick spray with the pre-wash and rinse down, and it'll come off.
And then the last step then is of the decontamination stage is just a hand wash it. How does the ceramic act with the tar? Does it just sit on top of the tar?
So the ceramic, obviously the tar will sit on the ceramic, so instead of embedding itself into the top,
the actual base metal. All right.
Yeah,
okay.
it will just sit on the ceramic. So when you clean the bike, 90% of it comes straight off.
Right.
So anyway, if you leave it for a long time, it's going to stick a lot, especially on places where it's hot out of the engine exhaust.
Right.
But normally, if you wash your bike fairly regularly, once a month, you won't have any tar on it. It'll come off with the wash process.
And washing stage.
We're going to do a hand wash now. Yeah.
Right. And now you don't have to worry about swirls, you can just go
I mean,
and whatever there is.
What I wouldn't do is swirl like that.
Right.
So bikes front to back. Okay.
You're following like the grains of the...
Follow the panel. Use one side, turn it over, then you can use the other side.
Get the most out of your mitt. You say mentally, do you split the bike up into sections then? Do you do paintwork?
Yeah, I try and do the paintwork first and then we'll work down, and the screen, paintwork and screen first.
Right.
And then we'll work down the bike. And there, straight back in your rinse bucket. Rub it on the grit guard at the bottom, turn it over, up the other side. Dirt, so that should have got most of it. If there's any dirt in there, it's going to come out on there, and then back in this bucket.
Did you rub that on the grit guard as well, just at the bottom, just to make sure?
Not really, because you want the suds, so it should be fine in there. Anything that does come off in here will sink. And again, screens up and down, not side to side. Always go up and down on screens.
Even the cheaper mitts are all right if they're used correctly, aren't they?
Yeah. These are just, I think these are Amazon basics.
Yeah,
they're absolutely fine. There's only so many people that make them.
Yeah. There's only a way you can make them. They're not.
As long as you get a nice soft one, and it's how you clean them afterwards. If you're going to wash them, like your microfibers, you need to wash them properly. Don't put them in your washing with everything else. They need to be washed separately on, with detergent with nothing in it. If you were allergic to everything, that's the detergent you want for your microfibers.
Right, so now the handheld washing's been fully completed, so the bike's looking amazing. Now it's just on to drying. How important is drying for these then?
Again, it's another area where you're going to damage the bike if you're going to get an old chamois leather and give it a rub.
Really?
Yeah. It's best to blow dry as much as you can.
Right, so the heavens opened with it trusty being England, and we popped the tent up. Gives us a bit more chance to have a look at the bike under some light as well. So now Pete's just taken off the exhaust, but well, we've got a seized bolt, so see how well that comes up. A British winter for you. Yeah, so this little bolt here is seized. That's all. Just takes the end can off the collector box, but. Yeah, the swing arms come up beautiful, and all the engine. It's just a real shame about this bottom bit. But yeah, I bet if you got these, they're brand new. Right then, so now we've, well, Pete has struggled to take the slip-on off because we had a little seizure with the bolt, and then now we're just taking a few parts off to really get in where the the cleaning hasn't. So the end can's come off, so you've still got down here underneath where the clip goes inside the shock, and then Pete's just taken off the screen now because all these parts are also going to get coated, we were saying, but it's just easier to cut them off the bike.
Yeah, it's easier to take them off and cut them off. You get better access for the rest of the bike.
Yeah. So we're on to paint correction now, yeah.
So the first thing we've got to do is find out what's going to work best on this paint. So trial and error to start with. I've got a fair idea. So I'm going to start with the medium pad or.
So every bike you do, you still have to try it out.
Every vehicle.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it doesn't matter if it's the same vehicle you've done twice. Sometimes it's slightly different the paint.
Okay.
And you don't know what condition it's in and how bad it is. So.
Right. Brings colour back well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it already looked vibrant, but it's just, especially tank. You've got it, hasn't it? It's fully.
It's not bad. There's a few deeper ones that you're probably not going to get out.
Yeah.
But
well, compared to that, you've got
the swirls. Yeah.
That's like a spider's web.
Yeah.
And then you've got that, and it's just your odd scratch here and there. So what you do then, just pick like a little section, test what's effective, and then just crack on with it. Yeah, yeah. You can just see where I've wiped with the cloth, can't you, downwards?
Well, yeah. So that will look up, but we're going to just try and give this a good going over. And it's actually a sticker on there.
Yeah.
So we can give the sticker a bit of a polish up on the top surface. So we'll clean the seats already, we showed earlier.
Yep. And this is the same in your cars as well, yeah?
So this is really good for leather treatment.
Right.
It adds protection, but it also feeds the leather at the same time. And we've got other
so like rejuvenates it?
Yes, yeah. And we've got a spray that does, it's better probably for carpet and stuff like that. So
right.
You can spray, we can spray the seats, but this stuff's quite good. We'll just wipe it on.
Most seats now, as all bike seats, they're all really the same, aren't they?
Yeah, there's not. Yeah, well, unless you get them recoated. Some of them are actually, proper nice leather, or you get a cover for them, or whatever. But most of them are this sort of. I'm not sure what it is really. Synthetic leather, I suppose.
So that again, just rubbing with grain it. You're not swirling that now.
Just trying to get it in. So we'll put it in one way, and we'll go the other way. Make sure we've got everything coated up.
A bit of lubricant on it.
Yeah.
Get your clay bar, gently rub it over the surface. Hopefully I can.
That looks very satisfying.
Yeah. Well, now I can't use it because I've got to go.
If you fold it over, you'll get a clean surface. And then when you spray the lube on the surface and just rub it on, and you'll feel the grit. You can not even hear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it goes. Oh, there you go. It goes clear.
So there, where you've done it's now. Yeah.
You don't have time. You try, but. Spread it out there.
Right, so then folks, this is the part we're all waiting for. As you can see, it's I think we're about 11 hours in, would you say now? 10, 11?
Yeah, is that right?
And yeah, she's looking pretty pristine. So now we're onto the actual nanocoat application. Is it straight onto a just an applicator pad and then it's a buffing off?
Yeah, so use an applicator pad to put the ceramic coat onto an applicator, buff it off basically. Well, not buff it, we level it off.
Yeah. So in regards to the coating then, like, obviously I ride this every day, like it sees some abuse and stuff, so what kind of guarantee like are we looking at from the manufacturer?
So for the ceramic you'll get a 7-year guarantee on the bike.
Right, that's a used bike.
70,000 miles, yes, on top from the coating, okay? On a new bike it's 10 years and 100,000 miles.
Right.
And that's just normal use, on the proviso that you look after it. You know, it needs to be washed regularly, the coating kept in good order, and just make sure that we're not, you know, doing things that are going to take the coating away. Yeah. So it is very hard wearing. So obviously 9H scratch resistant, tested by Boeing, with certification and everything. Fully chemically resistant as well, and it can go on with heat resistance, so it goes on all the exhausts and stuff.
Yeah, so you put it on the
so it works really well. It goes on all the surfaces, which is great. But what we need to remember is, if you come out and it's dirty and you start rubbing at it with a cloth or something like that, you're just scratching the surface of the ceramic. So it's not going to last as long as if you use pre-washes, snow foam.
So the same, exactly the same process as the decontamination stages as yesterday.
Yeah, just the wash stage. Don't need to decon it every time.
Right.
Just go through the pre-wash. Like we said yesterday, the pre-wash will loosen all that dirt on the surface after you rinse the bike. Once it's all loose, give it a wash down, snow foam, that will take off anything that's still loose. Right. And then go to your bucket wash, and that should do it. On a normal wash.
And you dry
it.
Back to
that's it. Brilliant. And then, as I said, every 4,000 or 5,000 miles, put the fallout cleaner on it, and then snow foam over the top. And that should keep it in good order, you know.
Well, if she stays like she looks now, I think we'll be, especially running it through, like, is it the same through different months, is it always, or is it just...
Pretty much the same. I mean, look, during the week, I ride mine every day. If you come home and it's covered in salt or dirt, road grime, just hose it down. Right. You know, if you get the dirt off, it will come off. Yeah. And you'll be left with sort of a clear traffic film on the bike. Right. It will look a bit dull, but it's not going to do any damage. If you bring it home and leave salt on it for a few weeks, it's going to start eating into the coat. It's going to start doing its
you were
damage.
Talking about it. It's like the iron files will also get into it. Like,
embed
themselves.
It's more like you come like the rear disc. That's dripping onto the rear wheel when you come home. It's on the side stand. It drips into the wheel, and that eats into the actual coating in it, and then it will eat into the wheel. Like
so eventually, it's just a big layer of protection. Isn't it?
Yes,
so it is penetrable over time.
Over time,
if you don't look after it. I understand, but you do have to. So I'm guessing the takeaway is from is to look after it as if you look after your bike, don't you?
Look after it, and the good thing is about it will always look like this when you clean it. Right. So, if you can once a week come out, and now you're not going to spend all day cleaning the bike. You only spend a couple of hours, and it will be fine. Yeah. So that's the bonus, really. It's going to save you a lot of time, and it's always going to look good. Right. If you leave it for a long period of time without cleaning it, you can still have your work cut out.
Bruce. We'll put that one at you, I see.
Yes, you're going to have to spend more time cleaning it, but if you keep on top of it, stuff like tar and sap and things like that, it's not going to stick so much. Yeah. So it's a lot easier to keep it clean.
Yeah, and you don't have to scrub away then. You risk harsh.
Yeah. You don't need harsh chemicals, you don't need to scrub away at the bike. Yeah. A decent wash. Awesome. That's it, really.
Yeah. There's your certificate. Thank you. So we've got our company here. So the ceramic is actually made by Supreme Coat, based in Sheffield. Right. Yeah. So they make the ceramic that we use. We're their sort of southern region applicators. Right. We're Supershield Automotive. Your bike, registration, and the date it was applied.
And that's certificate of application.
That's your certificate of application. That goes with the bike. Right. So if you sell the bike within the next 7 years, or whenever you sell the bike, give them the certificate with the bike. Yeah. If there's any issues, get back to us and we'll come and rectify it for free.
Oh, brilliant. So so if this goes on to be sold, it's the proof of application.
Yes, proof of application. Awesome. We will. There's a little code there. We'll register that online so I know that it's been done. So if you do sell it and they give me a call, want to know more about it, I can look it up and say.
And then to hand these out, you've obviously got to be trained. So there's only a certain amount of people.
That's it. Yeah. So it's a professional grade ceramic. Yep. It's not an off the shelf. So it's a different base. It's much stronger than your normal ceramics that you would get. Yeah. Some of like the dealerships use and stuff like that. So as I said, it goes over every part of the bike.
It does it. It's been everywhere. Like we didn't really record all of it because we're getting a little bit late. We're in some tight spots, but every inch of that bike is covered.
And it makes a big difference because you might go to a dealership, they may offer you your ceramic coating on your bike, charge you £300 and they'll come out and just wipe down the paintwork, and that's it.
Yeah, and they're rinsing you really.
Yeah, and they are. They're rinsing, taking your money, and not doing the job that you should get for that money, really. Yeah. as you say, we spent 12, 14 hours on a bike. We've taken all the parts off.
This is a quick one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a relatively small bike, so it's not too bad. But they all take about 12, 14 hours for a used bike. Some take a little longer, but it's worth it. Worth the time.
Definitely
check
worth
the bike.
Until it's like you say with people that are watching this now, until you see one that's been coated in person, the shine is on another level. Like I say, I'd seen these guys at the weekend, and I knew at some point we had to get them. So once again, mate, thank you very much.
Pleasure having you. Take care.
Lovely, welcoming family as well. So, big thank you. And I suppose, boys and girls, it's been a very long one, but I hope you've stuck out this far. If you're interested in Pete, I'll leave Supershield. I'll leave their website, and they're also in the Instagram in below as well, so you can speak to Pete directly and maybe sort something out. So, once again, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, ride safe, and I'm out. Peace.